Yo-ho-ho, guys. Alright, so today we're looking at Zet, as he was thought of when he first came out, or when Hyper Universe was, initially kicking it off. The Gundam Mech of Justice. Of course, he's not actually a Gundam, but, it's kind of what they're referencing, along with a few other things. Anyway, as always, gonna increase the level cap. There we go. We're gonna sit safely at 6. Now I'm gonna get into this character. He's pretty fun. He actually is. I started playing with him and I realized how fun he was. So I'm gonna try and make this pretty quick and concise because I think once y'all see him, y'all are gonna just start playing him. First thing I'm gonna start off talking to you about is actually his E. I'm not gonna go in order because this one's important. Zet has 2 modes. So he is currently in Guardian mode. He polarizes his armor plating, granting the following effects: defense plus 17 and increases health regained by 100% of defense. So the higher your defense, the higher your health regain is. And Assault Mode supercharges the defensive system, granting the following effects: attack plus 17 and increases critical rate by 4% of attack. So the higher your attack is, the higher your critical rate is. So if you're wanting to, personally, I like playing him in Assault Mode more. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to that, and it just changes the color. That's honestly what it does, so you have a visual connection as to, hey, this is what I'm in. With that being said, I'm actually gonna jump into the item build and hop right back down to the skills. Basically, you're going to want to decide how you want to play him that match. So you should have 2 separate item builds. If you wish to play Guardian, you have an item build for that. If you wish to play Assault, you have an item build for that. I only have an item build for Assault because I never play him straight Guardian. Even though I say that, I do play him like he gets max health. I do play him a little tanky because I don't want to I'm not trying to turn a bruiser into an assassin. Alright, so with this is my Assault set. My boots, I got Slaughter's Gators. Lifesteal plus 5%, movement speed plus 50. Of course, all boots give movement speed, but that's my first item I put into, and I get going. My second item, normally, is Tempest Blades. Now, it does give me attack and defense penetration. I like the defense penetration. Now, typically, I will start Tempest Blades, but sometimes, if I don't feel as confident as I should with my team that I have, I'll actually hop over here, because these 3 right here, they're attack oriented. And I'll either start with Medic System for my max health and decreases the critical damage I take, or I'll start with Electroshock Protector. Gives me defense, max health, and lifesteal, and when I'm hit, it does electrical surges. It splashes on people, and it does the explosion does 3% of your max health. So the more health you build, the more damage that does. Anyway, that being said, attack and defense penetration, and of course y'all have seen this item on a lot of my characters. The type of characters I play are very aggressive. That explosive shock right after a skill is really helpful. So you should know that by now. But attack and max health, again, this increases max health, and I'm trying to do that to help set up my skills and my items to align better. So this one's critical rate and lifesteal, and this one is max health all the way through, and it also increases max health regained by 3.5%. So I have a few items in here that if I get into a bad situation, I can actually say, hey, I'm going to use these first so I can make sure that I become relevant at the end of the game. One thing I want to make sure all of you know is don't ever let yourself, I know it's hard, but don't ever let yourself tilt out where you can't try to play towards the end game. Some games are unwinnable, but always try your best. Anyway, let's start with this passive as far as the skills, since I already talked about his E. Emergency Code GDX. If the skill is off cooldown, upon death, you will revive after 6 seconds in the same spot with 100% of your max health and mana. So you're going to come back to life, but you're going to come back to life fully restored entirely. Now, this enables you to set up a lot of plays for your team, even if you're low health. Especially if you're low health, if you can rely on your team. This takes good communication, even if it's just typing, letting them know you're going to go in and do something. His Q, he fires his fists. He fires 2 fists, both of them. And whoever they hit, they stun. So if there are a line of hypers right there, it would stun them. His W is a double sword slash. You have to hold forward in order to go in that direction, otherwise he stands still. Like so, he just stands still. But if I hold forward, he goes forward. Alright, and it reduces their movement speed as well. So that's something to remember. I've already talked about his E, which is the mode I'm in. There you go. His A is actually basically it's just Shining Fingers from G Gundam. I'm joking, but what he does is he makes an explosive punch. So he hits them, and if you land the hit on anything, including a minion, there's an explosion afterward that creates a shockwave past the fist. Like, it shoots the shockwave forward. I'll show you right here. There's a shockwave. And his R is an explosion that draws people into the center, and it does damage as it, as it hits them. It does gradual damage. They are also slowed. So he has a lot of good ways to keep people there next to him, but you don't want to waste things before you actually have something set up. So I'm going to show you here real quick a few little things you can do with Zet. You can initiate with your W, or if someone is running away, you can go after them. So it really depends on what you're facing, if you want to make that your initiation, or if you want to make that your chase. Now what you also can do is you can initiate with your W, hit them with that A, and even if they run, at that point they are going to get hit. And the reason why I say that, because I landed behind her, I do that. On that first hit, people's natural instinct is to run away from you, not like, so if she's facing this way and I'm facing that way, she's going to try and go that way to get away from me. Typically, if you're in that particular situation, you are nearer to your tower. They won't run behind you towards your own tower. It doesn't make sense, especially with Zet, because he does have a stun. Now you can W forward and of course use your stun, but that kind of wastes both things. And you're going to need one of them at a certain point in time in order to catch someone, because they will try to get away from you. You're going to need the stun or the W to catch back up with them. The dash is great, but it doesn't always get you where you need to in the amount of time you need to. You can also, if you're trying to set up plays and not just trying to get the kill yourself, you can W in. My goodness. Like I said, if you're not trying to get the kill yourself and trying to set up plays, and depending on how you built them, this can get you the kill anyway. You can W in and hit them with that R. And that just gives them a brief moment for your team, if your team is there. Again, this is if you're not trying to get the kill yourself, to just collapse on them. Zet works really well, like a lot of other hypers do, but he works really well with the team with CC. He has CC in his kit, and if you're unfamiliar with that term, it means crowd control. Basically meaning controlling the other hypers, their movement, be it a slow, a stun, a root, things like that. He has that in his kit. Alright, so we talked about the skills. I'm going to go over some of these items here real quick. I'm actually going to show you this one, which means I'm going to turn the AI on before I actually want it to, but I'm going to try and make this quick. This, again, is the one where when they attack me, there's a splash of damage, electric damage. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. And I was not really going to hurt them because they're so far away from me. Did you see that? Yeah, it's a 6-second cooldown. It's a 6-second cooldown. I'm going to go ahead and let her kill me so you guys can see the passive and what it does. Okay. Now I'm going to come back right there with all my health and all my mana back. After 6 seconds, I just return. And if the enemy's not paying much attention to that, then they can, in fact, be taken off guard, because they'll be fighting your team, and suddenly you're back, and oh man, you know, they're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. Now, of course, I'm going to show you Blade of Fire again. Is it Breath? Yeah, Breath of Fire. Everybody should know what this does if you follow my other videos. If you haven't, that's your first tutorial seeing it with me. Basically, after every skill you do, with a very short period of cooldown, it does an explosive hit. Now, that explosive hit does 100% of your attack damage. So, if you have a character that has a very low cooldown skill that you can combo, like his A, very low cooldown. You see, it's like 3 seconds. It works very well. So I'll show you. Do my combo, A, explosive hit. Alright, you see that? Combo A, explosive hit. And it's 2-second cooldown. So you can see how that could come in handy. Now, here's also a thing. I do my stun. If I could, you know, land it. I do my stun. My hit's charged. Explosive hit. So it works out that way too. And again, explosive hit. So even when I change modes, I get an explosive hit. So it doesn't matter what skill you're using, as long as you use the skill, it procs an explosive hit. And for bruisers, assassins, this item is almost a must in my opinion. I absolutely adore it. Now with the other items, it's not a visual effect thing, it's just what the stats do. So I'm not going to show you them. I don't really feel the need to. You know, you're not going to see a visual effect for the crit. You will see a visual effect for the lifesteal, but as you can tell that there is some lifesteal in this kit and some crit. Now, this is my guide for Zet. As I always say in the description, I'll try to make a more point to say it in the videos. Build Zet however you wish to. Play Zet however you wish to. Use the skills however you wish to. And make sure that you have fun with it however you wish to. This is a simple guide that I have made because I found that this was a skill a skill set how I used them that helped me, and an item set that helped me. I hope it helps you guys kind of formulate your own one, because I think it'll be beneficial to just have a base to start with and go for it. Alrighty guys, get a Jahahaha in your life, a Yohoho in your life, and have a good one. Good day, morning, noon, or night, whatever it is.